Hello from Lake Tahoe Community College and from MIT OpenCourseWare Centric Wiki World University and School. And right behind me, I think you can see it in a second, is a Lake Tahoe Community College sign. And I'm in front of the Roberta Mason Library. And near Lake Tahoe in the high Sierras, around 7,000 feet. And in today's WUAS News and Question and Answer, WUAS Weekly Business Meeting, I'd like to share a little news with you. Just checking if people are seeking to join this. Not seeing anyone yet. So first, Lee, greetings from MIT OpenCourseWare Centric OCW.mit.edu Wiki, Grow with Google, WUAS, World, Univ, and School. And as I came into the Lake Tahoe Community College, I met someone who was working with the Lake Tahoe Community College, who was welcoming incoming students on this day, today's move-in day. And I mentioned worlduniversityandschool.org to her and free online MIT OpenCourseWare centric degrees that students from Lake Tahoe Community College could potentially avail themselves of. And as we become accredited and as World University and School potentially gets into college counseling, higher degree counseling centers at schools, universities, colleges such as Lake Tahoe Community College. So further, you'll find today's WUS News and Question and Answer agenda in the blog post beginning Jaguar Bolivia in two blogs, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mcleod.blogspot.com. Check it out. So free online MIT OpenCourseWare centric Wiki World University and School is growing with Grow with Google WUAS for free to students, potentially accrediting as an university, WUAS degrees, bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school or similar, AAAS, and masters. First in English, then in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages. And see Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Tulify AI WUAS, hashtags on LinkedIn and Twitter X article titled Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, updated March 2nd, 2024, and also about hashtag World University in School and at the tulify.ai URL for this. And it's possible that this Google AI director, Peter Norvig, played a role in facilitating the next steps in coding the main WUAS homepage at worlduniversityandschool.org, which is still down, since both, one, the nonprofit 501c3 public charity, MIT OpenCourseWare Centric World University and School, and that URL is worlduniversityandschool.org, which is down, and the beginning, physical digital, WUAS academic press in 7,000 languages, and the WUAS Educational Services bookstore, computer store, robotics store, grocery stores, and more hospital technology stores in 200 countries and main languages. Homepage, which is a for-profit general stock company, WUAS Corporation, legal entity in California. That URL is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. both are still not working, and both say, sorry, this site is temporarily unavailable. And I think this is an opportunity for further development. In the meantime, here's an invitation to visit the wiki, worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/the college at World University and School, or teach in a wiki subject you love. wiki.universityandschool.org/wiki/subjects. Click on edit this page and teach something by adding a reference, for example, or teaching to your YouTube channel about something you love. Or visit the two blogs at worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/search/label/global university. Or to check out the WUS YouTube video channel, youtube.com/@ScottMcCloud and /videos. The decades-long website hosting services, which was or were Gate.com, Hostway.com, GoDaddy, HostSave, for both of these websites of mine, worlduniversityandschool.org, and my personal website, scottmccloud.com, have separated in recent years. So these hosting services have separated, I think. In some of these regards above, such as the downed worlduniversityandschool.org website, in a somewhat complicated disentangling of these web hosting services, I posit. ScottMcCloud.com was down a couple of weeks ago, and now it's up again. So I think worlduniversityandschool.org and the Academic Press WS Educational Services Store, worlduniversityandschool.org/academic press, will be up in the future, soonish, perhaps. But I think to code these is a pretty involved process, especially regarding the three legal entities of World University and School: the nonprofit 501c3 on the worlduniversityandschool.org side, with also State of California legal entity, tax exempt, for worlduniversityandschool.org, both dating from around 2010, and the for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, dating from 2017, both planned in 200 countries and in 7,000 languages. Please stay tuned further. As a friendly, unprogrammed Quaker, non-theist friend, capital F, small f, leading or calling to create free universal education with free to students MIT OCW-centric World University and School WUS degrees in all 200 countries and in their main languages, and free wiki schools for people-to-people wiki teaching and wiki learning in all 7,159 known living languages. WUS monthly business meeting is now WUS weekly business meeting, WS News and Q&A, on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And this friendly business meeting, loosely in the manner of unprogrammed Quakers, friends, is what is guiding the growth of free MIT OpenCourseWare-centric wiki, World University and School, WUS, in so many ways, with an invitation to join on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, or come into conversation with WUS on social media or in other ways. The 501c3 tax-exempt MIT OpenCourseWare-centric World University and School, worlduniversityandschool.org, Candid GuideStar, which is affiliated with the IRS, profile, listing, is also developing. So guidestar.org/profile and our WS number beginning 27-3105368 is also developing with the next State of California tax-exempt World University and School registry, the registry that there for, I think, the State of California's tax-exempt entities is going to be added to guidestar.org for example, for World University and School, where GuideStar is affiliated with the US federal government. Candid GuideStar is affiliated with the US federal government since World University and School is a 501c3. So after this, WUAS is curious to see how the WS Corporation, and you can search on that, WS Corporation, here at State of California's bizfile.online.ca.gov/search/business. And the login for the WS Corporation is SGKMAC WS but you don't need that. You can just search on WS Corporation in the BizFile Online. Will be coded for or accounted for or handled by Candid GuideStar's World University and School 501c3 U.S. federal legal entity listing. Again, the State of California BizFile Online is here, and for the here at bizfileonline.sos, etc. For the WS Corporation gives our legal ID number and related information that the initial filing date was April 21st, 2017. Again, so check out both wings of World University and School when they're working again. All the best abolitionally, and a MIT OpenCourseWare-centric wiki, World University and School #WS abolition movement is growing. And you can see the blog post in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from July of 2025, beginning Lotus, Kamala Padma, and that is to abolish the wrongful buying and selling of people in the illegal sex, drugs, violence, car theft, etc., industries and their latent networks of violence. So to potentially abolish or knock back international organized crime worldwide, and as we seek to code for potentially all 7.9 billion people on the planet, and as we also possibly distribute Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency to end poverty. Friendly NTF, non-theist friend, NTQ, non-theist Quaker, Quaker greetings, Scott GK McCloud. So the recording of today's WS News and Question and Answer WS Weekly Business Meeting will be posted to youtube.com/Scott McCloud World University /videos. And also on the two blog posts for today, beginning Jaguar, Bolivia. Check out too the Bangladesh World University and School in the Bangla language, also in both blog posts for today. I'm in the sun now, and my computer overheated 2 weeks ago, so I think I'm going to try to get in the shade before proceeding, so my computer doesn't shut down, so that it can cool off. Hang on 1 second. Finding some shade. All right, continuing. So regarding the first of two wings at World University and School, the 501c3 or similar, which is also a tax-exempt state of California legal entity. And check out the GuideStar profile, and which is emerging from CC4 licensed ocw.mit.edu, or building upon these Creative Commons for ocw.mit.edu resources, World University and School, the worlduniversityandschool.org wing. Agenda item 0. The recording for Monday, 9/1/2025, last Monday, is posted. And in the blog posts that begin Victoria, Boliviana, Open MIT OCW, from September 1st, 2025, and with a Twitter X post that includes incredible Dr. Fei Li, hashtag Peter Norvig, how to develop a realistic virtual Harbin from one image. Check out that video posting. It's posted both to Twitter X and LinkedIn, as well as the two blogs and the YouTube channel. Agenda item 1. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, with its 1.4 billion people, was doing a broadcast on Twitter X recently, and in the Hindi language. And it made me wonder, or it made me seek to communicate with him on Twitter by retweeting this broadcast. How best to grow free to students MIT OCW centric wiki at World Univ and SCH for hashtag free WUAS degrees from home in India, in all from homes in India, in all 22 scheduled languages there, and wiki schools, and as wiki schools too, for people to people, hashtag people to people, hashtag wiki teaching, and hashtag wiki learning, and in all 424 by one count, the ethnologues last year, in 2024, 424 languages in India. And with the India World University and School Wiki School, which is not yet in Hindi or any of the other 21 scheduled languages. So this Twitter post begins, Narendra Modi, how best to grow free to students MIT OCW centric wiki World Univ and S School for free WS degrees from home in India in all 22 scheduled languages, and as wiki schools for people to people wiki teaching, and in all 424 languages in India. Haven't heard back from him directly or via a Twitter post that I know of, but I also included in today's blog post that Narendra Modi tweet about yoga. Yoga holds profound benefits for both body and mind, fostering strength, flexibility, and tranquility. Let us make yoga a part of our lives and further wellness as well as peace. Sharing a set of videos depicting the various asanas. And the asanas in the video that he shares is in YouTube, and it's with PM Modi as a avatar, as a not a realistic images or videos of him teaching yoga poses, such as tree pose or camel pose or similar, but of him in a as an avatar, as a digital character, in a digital environment, which makes me further wonder also how to add these teaching of yoga poses as with PM Modi as avatar to a realistic virtual earth for yoga. And check out this further in the blog post from September of 2025, beginning Chicoan, Guanacos, Bolivia, about llamas, and beginning with llama species. Agenda item 2. What organizations will 200 hashtag WUAS UNIVS in all 200 hashtag nation states WUAS for both hashtag WUAS wings collaborate with? So a set of Twitter posts about this. Twitter X posts are helpful because they're concise in some ways and somewhat short. Regarding hashtag USGOVT, the 200 World Univ and SCH hashtag WUS UNIVS, and at WUS Press, in all 200 hashtag nation states WUAS, on both hashtag WUS wings, and for speakers of all 7,159 languages, seek to collaborate with hashtag WUS or US State Department WUS with 184 countries, diplomatic missions, and hashtag CIA WUAS in over 200 countries. And see this first explored this idea in August of 2025 in the blog post beginning Kanha Tiger Reserve, India. I think August 11th, 2025, open in both blog posts, in both blogs. Check out this set of Twitter posts, and this retweets a Twitter post from Satya Nadella, who is the CEO of Microsoft presently, who is also from India, like PM Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. So Satya Nadella writes, for more than 4 decades, Microsoft has partnered with the US government to serve the American people, from modernizing IT infrastructure to advancing cybersecurity. Our partnership has always been rooted in trust, innovation, and shared purpose. Today, we are building on that legacy with a new agreement from the US General Services Administration, including a no-cost Microsoft 365 Copilot offer to accelerate the adoption of AI and digital technologies across federal agencies and deliver more than $3 billion in total savings to taxpayers in the first year alone. This collaboration is about empowering public servants with the tools they need to deliver on their missions more effectively and securely. By bringing the latest advances in cloud and AI, including Azure, Microsoft 365 Copilot, Dynamics 365, and our security platforms, backed by industry-leading security and compliance certifications, we aim to help agencies modernize systems, improve citizen services, and advance their technology transformation goals. So this is Satya Nadella from, I think, September of 2025 on Twitter X. And see the first exploration again of the organizations that WUS seeks to partner with in the US federal government in the blog post from August of 2025, beginning Kanha, Kanha, Tiger Reserve, India. So, and what further set of Twitter posts about the organizations that WUS seeks to collaborate with. What orgs will hashtag grow with Google, WUAS, at World Univ and SCH, and at WUS Press is 200 approximately, hashtag WUS UNIVS, in all 200 hashtag nation states WUS, on both hashtag WUS wings, collaborate with hashtag US State Department WUS, with 184 countries, diplomatic missions, hashtag Chase Bank WUS in about 100 to 200 countries, hashtag CIA WUAS, hashtag Siemens WUAS in over 200 countries, the last being a worldwide, a global, in all 200 countries, Siemens industrial engineering company, as I understand it. And further, other organizations, as we develop our WUS AI and ML, besides and code for, as are WSAI and ML, codes for 7.8 billion people. US government, US State Department, WUS, CIA, WS, and the WS Corp plus or with hashtag Toyota, WUS, and Walmart, hashtag Walmart, WUS, in building out IT infrastructure at World University and School. And more about this in the blog post beginning Bolivian River Dolphin, Bolivia, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from September of 2025. Agenda item 3, how best for WUS to grow in each of all 200 countries and in their official languages, and culturally, especially culturally, since all 200 countries' educational systems are rooted in different cultures, all 200 countries' cultures, and then potentially regarding speakers of all 7,159 known living languages, the culture of those speakers of all 7,159 known living languages, which is to suggest that speakers of languages in 7,159 known living languages dovetail or articulate with related cultures. So a set of Twitter posts in these regards. How best for MIT OCW centric wiki, hashtag grow with Google WUS, World University and School, worlduniversityandschool.org. Wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org is the wiki page, which is still up now, for free WUS degrees to grow in each of all hashtag 200 countries and in their official languages, and culturally, especially regarding their different school systems. And that's in the blog post Bolivian River Dolphin, Bolivia, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. And it relates partly to, for example, the Guyana World University and School, which I explored in last week's September 1st, 2025, WS News and Question and Answer, where Guyana has possibly an estimated 19 to 30 languages, including Guyanese Creole, and where English is the official language, and probably 10 or 15 indigenous languages. Agenda item 4, WUS archaeology and a hashtag realistic virtual earth for archaeology. Bill Fash, at Harvard archaeology professor, recently asked to unsubscribe to World University and School's emailings. And I emailed him back regarding the realistic virtual earth for archaeology that World University and School is seeking to develop, and a realistic virtual earth for paleontology, and hashtag for geology, hashtag realistic virtual earth for paleontology on Twitter, hashtag realistic virtual earth for archaeology on Twitter, where MIT doesn't have an archaeology department that I know of. So there are very few MIT OCW archaeology courses. For example, besides one titled The Human Past Introduction to Archaeology from the autumn of 2006, I think. So my letter to Bill Fash, my email to Bill Fash and Colleen Morgan, who is an archaeologist at the University of York in the north of England, who has a UC Berkeley PhD in archaeology. Hi, Bill and Colleen. I am subscribed to you from MIT OCW Centric Wiki, World University and Schools emailings, where WUS is planning to grow major online research universities in each of all 200 countries and in all 7,159 known living languages, and much in a hashtag realistic virtual earth. First mention of a realistic virtual earth that I know of other than by WUS in Peter Norvig's incredible Toolify AI WUS article, and for example, in a realistic virtual Earth for archaeology and a realistic virtual Earth for paleontology, for geology, too. Hashtags on Twitter, X, and LinkedIn at times. And where MIT doesn't have an archaeology department that I know of, but they do have this one course. Do you know archaeologist Colleen Morgan at York University? Bill Fash, best wishes. And added my actual virtual ethnographic book #1, Naked Harbin Ethnography from 2016, where in seeking to develop a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs for ethnographic research, think Google Street View with Time Slider, a realistic virtual Earth will also emerge, and potentially for archaeology, which is related to anthropology and ethnography. And that's all in the blog post beginning Chacauen, Guanacos, Bolivia, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. Agenda item 5, Liberia, WUAS, and Drace Barr, or Drache Barr, who is from Liberia, and whom I met in the International House, iHouse at UC Berkeley, about a week ago, who is studying for a UC Berkeley master's degree in, quote, development practice. And I emailed him after we met. Drace, I'll call him, Barr from Liberia. Nice to meet you at International House, Monday, September 1st, 2025. Found him on Twitter. He's gone to University of Liberia, or the African Methodist University, or Liberian Methodist University in Monrovia for his bachelor's degree. Nice to meet you at iHouse. Interesting to learn that you studied at, I think from his LinkedIn page, this Methodist University in Monrovia, Liberia. MIT OCW centric wiki, Liberia World University and School, will emerge from here, the nation states wiki subject page, where 200 major online research MIT OCW centric WSs will emerge. In English, for free online degrees from home in Liberia. And finding the link for his master's degree program at Cal in development practice, which is gspp.berkeley.edu/programs/Master of Development Practice-MDP. Greetings to your professors, and please mention MIT OCW centric wiki World University and School, planned in 200 countries and in their main languages. Let's figure out a time to meet together again at iHouse. You're on the 6th floor, is that right? Or what was the room number again you told me? A coffee soon, more later. Cheers, regards. More here from today's free WS News and Question and Answer, WS Weekly Business Meeting at 10 a.m. Pacific Time in Zoom in the Victoria Boliviana from 9/1/2025, last week's WS News and Question and Answer, and also in the blog post Chacauen, Guanacos, Bolivia. Agenda item 6. AI comes for the job market, security, and prosperity. The debrief, MIT OCW, MIT Technology Review. An article came through on my smartphone from the MIT Technology Review, which I added to the artificial intelligence page, wiki subject, wiki school at World University and School, with that title, AI comes for the job market, security, and prosperity. Just hashtag wiki added, Honan, Matt, 2025, AI, open bracket, AI comes for the job market, security, and prosperity. The debrief, August 27th, Cambridge MA, MIT Technology Review, and the URL to Artificial Intelligence Wiki subject page. That's sort of the format for adding a reference or a resource at World University and School that World University and School is seeking at. If you want to teach in that way, for example, at World University and School. So check out the format and check out the article. Is the article suggesting that AI will take away our jobs as efficiencies grow, giving us more time? And is he also suggesting, as the editor-in-chief of the MIT Technology Review, that AI will give us security as well as prosperity? The article is about a drive from Georgia to Kentucky with his daughter, who's in high school. And she's been hearing some of these things too, that AI may take away our jobs. Fascinating that we may have more time on our hands with AI ahead, and we may be more secure, and we may be more prosperous, potentially not only in the US, but in all 200 countries. Is that a kind of techno-utopianism, or how would you reply to that? Add an article to the Artificial Intelligence Wiki subject page that might come into conversation with that article from the MIT Tech Review. Agenda item 7, explore whole world, explore the whole world in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for exploration, in hashtag G Street View with hashtag G Time Slider, from hashtag public libraries, in hashtag Google Digital Mask, like hashtag Project Muhan. Muhan means infinity in Korean, or the hashtag Meta Quest, hashtag Oculus Rift, and an article, fascinating article that talks about the Gemini era and Google's Project Muhan collaboration with Samsung, Project Muhan. The article is titled Google and Samsung Reveal Project Muhan Mixed Reality Headset and Android XR. Mixed reality, I think that can be translated as the first platform built entirely for the Gemini era. And smart glasses are in the wings. This is an article from Tech Radar from December 12th, 2024. Read it. It offers an interesting view into the emergence of this new hardware, building on Apple Provision and Google Daydream, for example, two digital glasses projects that are no longer, Google Daydream is no longer. I think Apple Provision is still around. But with Gemini AI, Project Muhan, these digital glasses, digital mask, offers a whole new world of potentially exploring the world, and with Gemini AI inside a digital mask. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Laguna, Colorado. Scott-mccloud.blogspot.com's blog from September 2025. Further, I asked whether the Berkeley Public Library, Claremont branch, might carry the Samsung Project Muhan Google Digital Mask. I asked both their website's suggestion page and also on paper. And in searching a little bit further about this and other libraries, found that no other libraries apparently in the country have a Google Samsung Project Muhan digital mask. It may not yet be available, but its promise with Gemini artificial intelligence that might know and see what you think is potentially immense. Agenda item 8. The WUAS owner, the owner of World University and School, recently with the worlduniversityandschool.org website being down, received an email at worlduniversityandschool@gmail.com from Domain People, which is an organization, a registry, I think, based in Vancouver, Canada, so in another country. And regarding the WS, the worlduniversityandschool.org URL not working, and which email suggests I am the owner, Scott G.K. McLeod of WUS, and per Icon's administration of the web, I think, which Domain People, I think, administer, and which, so fascinating. These are emerging, iterating questions. And as worlduniversityanschools.org seeks to get working again in a new way, potentially with AI and machine learning, our beginning worlduniversityandschool.org website still down. So read further about this in agenda item 8 from worlduniversityandschool.blogspot, from scott-mccloud.blogspot.com in today's blog post, beginning Jaguar Bolivia. Agenda item 9, Harvard Law 2025. I've received a number of short videos from Harvard Law from the class of 2025, videos of recent graduates. And one focused on first impressions that about 5 or so Harvard Law graduates from 2025 had upon coming to Harvard Law in 2022. And the first speaker is Peter Guechner, who was the class marshal for Harvard Law School in 2025. So a set of Twitter posts in these regards: Harvard Law 2025, class of 2025, first impressions, and the video. Could Peter Guechner, who is from Iowa, hashtag class marshal, hashtag Harvard Law 25, coming from the cornfields of Iowa, as he says, right from the beginning, for example, become first hashtag WUS law faculty at hashtag MIT OCW centric World Univ and SCH. In the hashtag Iowa Law WUS Law School, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/Iowa Law School at WUS. It's the only state's beginning law school that World University and School has created. And we haven't hired anyone to speak of whatsoever yet. And as we build out all 50 states, WS law schools, how are we going to develop our faculty and for or at these law schools? Check out the blog post. Check out the 3 Harvard Law videos. They're short. So agenda item 10, best examples of building hashtag WUS communities, hashtag flourishing communities regarding open, hashtag people to people, hashtag wiki teaching and wiki learning, not Wikipedia. How can WUS grow these communities to be flourishing online and even with communitas, a kind of out of social structure, betwixt and between heightened experience that anthropologists have written about, including Victor Turner, especially. So a set of tweets in these regards on the hashtag WS Wiki side of World Univ and SCH, planned in all 7,159 known living languages for speakers of these. Best examples of building hashtag wiki communities, hashtag flourishing communities, regarding open, hashtag people to people, hashtag wiki teaching, and hashtag wiki learning. And from, for example, the subjects wiki subject page at World University and School, possibly in a hashtag realistic virtual earth. 2, how? So these are interesting questions. I can't think of any flourishing communities, wiki communities that emerge online, that build communitas among their speakers, among their end users, their wiki editors. And perhaps World University and School can figure this out and help create it. Further exploration of what communities are, what communitas is, and what I have in mind by flourishing too, in the blog post beginning in Laguna, Colorado. Agenda item 11. Or further, I guess, regarding agenda item 10, could avatar agents, such as Jim Sporer below, avatar agents of inspiring teachers, digital twins of very inspiring teachers in all 7,159 known living languages, help grow these wiki communities and come to teach how to wiki teach and wiki learn in new ways, thanks to AI and machine learning. And I think that's in agenda item 12 or so, similar. Agenda item 11, a prototype hashtag WUAS multimedia hospital room with spatial transcriptomics regarding genetics per George Church in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for aging reversal in the shop in Canyon, California, 94516 in the Gemini era. Hi, Byron Hahn, MD, PhD, a friend from Reed College from 1979. How are you today? Greetings from the San Ramon Public Library. Begin a prototype WS multimedia hospital room with spatial transcriptomics with George Church, or per George Church in a realistic virtual earth for aging reversal in the shop, Canyon 94516 in the Gemini era. Byron and I have been discussing this, have been exploring this over many months, if not longer, and building in Gemini, for example, into a realistic virtual earth for aging reversal, even an aging reversal machine, quite out of the box, but potentially very innovative, led to a set of tweets in these regards. Check it out in agenda item 11, and also in the blog post beginning Jacomontia aboletoides from scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from September of 2025. Agenda item 12, Jim Sporer as a digital twin. A set of tweets in these regards. I know Jim Sporer from when he was still at IBM. He's a MIT graduate in physics and a Yale computer science PhD, and formerly worked at Apple before IBM. So as a computer science, he was a scientist. He was also an IBM director and involved with IBM's global university programs. And I also knew him when he is involved in service science, ISIP, former hashtag IBM director, hashtag IBM Global Universities direct programs. This is a set of tweets at Jim Sporer, MIT and Yale, hashtag computer scientist, hashtag Jim Sporers, hashtag digital twin. He shares a video of him as a digital twin, which I think he's created, and who speaks in multiple languages. Hashtag Jim Twin V2 version 2, AI digital twin demo multilingual is the video. Check it out. It's about 1.5 minutes long with relevance to for hashtag WUS digital twins, and potentially even from hashtag Pegman G Street View. So from Pegman in Google Street View with time slider. Agenda item 13. This is an out-of-the-box exploration I've been writing about for years or decades. Eliciting loving bliss neurophysiology or chemistry. How to evoke the brain chemistry of, I'll call it neural cascades of pleasure regarding possibly love or care and bliss or heightened joy. So a set of Twitter posts in these regards. How further to study hashtag eliciting loving bliss neurophysiology. See Peter Norvig's incredible Toolify AI WS article, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University and School. And regarding especially in this article, hashtag virtual Harbin hot springs. Search on those 4 words in this article. And hashtag studying bliss. Search on those 2 words in this article. This is an opportunity in a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs to study bliss, and potentially with Peter Norvig, the AI director at Google, and possibly some other Googlers. There's about 187,000 employees at Google, helping to build out a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs as an ethnographic field site, physical, digital, Google Street View with time slider, and for possibly brain research, for example, for studying bliss, neurophysiology. Agenda item 13A, how does one know if one is hashtag eliciting bliss, neurophysiology, in its many ways and qualities? How? Hashtag what canst thou say, which is a question apparently that George Fox, the founder of Quakerism back in the 1650s, asked frequently, giving experience to early Quakers. Further in the Twitter post, turn on favorite music that gets one in this zone often or regularly. A hashtag WUS brainwave headset. For me, in terms of music, hashtag Indian ragas and 1960s and 1970s hashtag Grateful Dead jams can bring me to this place of eliciting neural loving bliss neurophysiology. What for you? And this tweets a Twitter post I began this series with yesterday, Sunday, the 7th of September, 2025, which reads, why not on a Sunday morning in a question mark, in a natural area, question mark, eliciting loving bliss neurophysiology in a myriad of ways and qualities. How? What canst thou say? And read about this in some web pages I've created for this. One titled Loving Bliss Practices, blog post from 2014 in a blog label in my blog, Scott-McCloud, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. The one from 2014 begins Passiflora. And check out the Loving Bliss label there too. And see the Loving Bliss eliciting this neurophysiology wiki school or subject at World University and School. Hashtag WUS Loving Bliss. And in a blog post titled Andean Flamingo, Bolivia. Agenda item 14. Recently received an invitation on air, Association of Internet Researchers email list about a book talk, I think, this upcoming Friday, September 12th, The book is titled Masked Media. The talk is titled Masked Media, What It Means to Be Human in the Age of Artificial Creative Intelligence. I responded and gotten the URL for this. Also let them know about the many media subjects, wiki schools, wiki subjects at World University and School, which have many MIT OCW courses. Looking forward to meeting the folks here, Carlos and Joanna, who I think are organizers. Carlos may be in Mexico City. Joanna may be in England, and she may have a PhD from Poland in Warsaw or Warszawa. And Gary Hall is the author of Masked Media at the University of Coventry, and where a realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs project and a realistic virtual Earth are also potentially remarkable and interesting media projects in these regards. Agenda item 15, WUS accreditation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education developments. Recently, two Twitter posts emerged from Middle States Commission on Higher Education, the Pennsylvania-based accreditation agency in the greater Philadelphia area, suggesting to me that Middle States Commission on Higher Education is developing with the internet. Two, on August 28th, 2025, MISH President Heather F. Perfetti provided written comments in the United States Department of Education on the United States Department of Education, USDA, intent to publish negotiated rulemaking committees. Learn more and read the full letter. And then another one regarding an upcoming conference for Middle States Commission on Higher Education on generative AI, transforming accreditation and effectiveness, is one of the 4 pre-conference workshops in the Middle States Commission on Higher Education 2025 conference. Learn how AI can drive work-related, can give work related to your institutional policies and other important work from panelists. Check out these 2 Twitter posts and see how World University and School may begin accreditation when Middle States Commission on Higher Education further develops their projects on their accreditation process for example, the online university of World University and School. I'm going to move to some further shade since I think the sun will shut down this computer otherwise, possibly, and regarding the other wing of WUS, the WUS Corporation. 2 more agenda items. Finding some shade here. Letting the internet catch up. So last 2 agenda items. For the WS Corporation, a for-profit general stock company, legal entity in the state of California. Agenda item A, regarding Pi cryptocurrency, a set of Twitter posts in these regards. Recently, they shared how they're updating their infrastructure and creating more opportunities for coders to write programs for Pi cryptocurrency, as WS seeks to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet in 200 countries, potentially to distribute to many of these people Pi cryptocurrency as the US federal government and other governments around the world write the code for the law for this cryptocurrencies. There's more than 25,000 cryptocurrencies that have been made so far. Incredible. 25,000 cryptocurrencies in a very fertile, generative, creative time for cryptocurrencies have been coded for in the past possibly 15 to 20 years. And I think these are potentially very helpful for a variety of people in a creative time. Looks like I'm might be losing it. Last agenda item. Looks like I'm not sure if I'm too far from the internet source of the Lake Tahoe library or what. Agenda item B, check it out in the WS News and question and answer. I'll say farewell for now. And we'll post this online. Twitter X at World University and School. So I'll post the recording of this to the two blog posts beginning Jaguar Bolivia and World University and School's main YouTube channel first, as well as the two main Twitter posts, Twitter X post, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, and twitter.com/WUAS Press. Until next week, the 15th of September at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Pacific Time, sorry, West Coast Time. If you have questions, email me at president@World University and School. Until next week, bye for now.